I'm still using it. Look at that. In probably 30 seconds, I've already cleared quite a track in through those reeds. The machete is a very, very useful tool for us bushmen, us fishermen, hunters. It's just a great tool. This is a machete. It's my machete. And on the day after tomorrow, it's going to be a prohibited weapon. Well, it already is a prohibited weapon. They are a machete amnesty. These were banned from the 1st of September. These were outlawed on the 1st of September this year, but we have until the 30th of November to hand them into the machete bins under the machete amnesty. So an amnesty basically means a pardon or an exemption. That means you can hand it in without anybody asking questions. Why have you got a prohibited weapon? They can't ask that. I'm allowed to put it in the machete bin without any questions. But if I wait until Monday to do it, then they can ask, why didn't you hand it in during the amnesty? Why have you still got it? And I can get fined up to $47,000. Now, I think that this machete law in Victoria is just an absolute joke. And I'm really, really grappling with this, and I'll explain why. There's a lot of crime in Victoria at the moment. Crime is through the roof, particularly in Melbourne, but it is also out in the in regional towns and stuff as well. There's no denying that. And one of the biggest problems we've got is youth gangs. And their main weapon of choice is machetes. And they're chasing each other around with machetes, and they're hacking each other with machetes. As a result, the government's come out and said, well, we'll fix the problem. We'll ban the machetes. To me, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, because the problem isn't the machetes. So look, I'll put this down on the table, even if I'll balance it on my shoulder. Notice how it's not getting up and attacking me. Notice how it's got no life, it's lifeless. Unless it's in the hands of somebody, it's not a weapon, it's just an object. So in other words, the problem isn't the machetes, it's the people. And the thing that makes the least amount of sense is that the machetes are only going to be handed in by honest people. Any government or anybody that thinks that the bad guys that are actually committing the crimes are going to hand in their machetes during the amnesty is an idiot. Of course they're not. Only the good people are going to do the right thing. It's just ridiculous. It's too stupid for words. And what makes it even worse is that once machetes are handed in, these people have still got access to screwdrivers they can stab each other with, tyre levers, baseball bats, cricket bats. I'm out in the bush. Look at all the sticks. I could make a spear. I could even make a bow and arrow with a bit of green wood, a green branch, and a bit of string. We used to do it as kids. There's weapons everywhere. There's rocks. You know, that's to ban one out of a million is ridiculous. And the sad thing is, I actually use it. I use this on a regular basis. Well, I used to before they became illegal. I used it on a regular basis. It was very handy. Now, full disclaimer, that little scene you saw at the start, me cutting through those reeds, that was a bit of a mock setup. I wasn't actually fishing. That was just 10 minutes ago before I got to this spot, just for the purpose of this video and for the purpose of showing you how I use it and why I use it. I haven't used it in my videos for quite some time because they've been banned, but I used to use them regularly. I'd use them to cut through blackberries. They weren't all that effective on blackberries. The little pruners were better. Quite often a combination of the clippers and the machete would be great. But in kabungi weed like that, it was great. In grasses, it was great. There's a popular fishing spot out near where I live, just out of Wangaratta, on a small creek. I actually cut the track in there a couple of years ago in the springtime when the grass was long, and for the whole summer, everyone used that track. No one knew I'd done it, but I done it. It was me that went through and cut the grasses so that people could walk down to that track. I use the thing. I also use it to kill carp. In fact, there's quite a bit of yucky stuff on here. I won't say the word. We'll call it carp rust because I've killed a lot of carp with it. I used to take it carp fishing with me all the time. It's effective, it's a quick kill, so the carp is dead, there's no suffering. It looks a bit gross, and look, I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit of fun. No matter how hard you hit it, you could never get all the way through. But it was effective, it was a very practical tool. And now I'm not allowed to use it. But the real problem, and this is the bit that I'm grappling with, I'm not grappling with the fact that the government's banning them. I think it's a stupid rule. You know, even flick knives, you can't have a flick knife because you've got to push a button and the blade comes up. But you can have a little one with a lever where you pull the lever down and the blade comes up. They're fine. That's a stupid rule. This is a stupid rule. There's lots of stupid rules, and I don't have a problem with the stupid rules. But what I do have a problem with is that I paid for this. I work very hard. Well, I've got an amazing job. When I say I work very hard, I go fishing for a living. I refuse to say that I'm lucky to do what I do because I worked very, very hard. I've put up with haters, detractors, even people that I love and want the best for me, telling me that I couldn't get to where I am now. And I had to push through it all. I used to work, then fish after work and edit and film and stuff, then go to work. It was a lot of hard work to get to where I am, but I've got an amazing job that I love. But I put a lot of hours into it. I earn an honest living out of it. I pay taxes. And then with the money that's left over after I pay them taxes, I went out and bought a machete. I've already paid the government my tax. I've paid my dues. I've paid what I needed to. With my money that was left over, I went out and bought a machete. It cost me about $120. And now the government is taking it off me. And this is the part that I'm the most stuck on. Not the having to give it back, the fact that they're not going to reimburse me for it. The government has spent literally millions of dollars putting these big blue machete bins at a number of police stations around the state. I believe it was $315,000 or $330,000 per bin. That just reeks of nepotism. Nepotism, if you don't know what that means, basically it means jobs for the boys. If you're a boss, employing your friends over other suitable candidates for a job, that's nepotism. Giving favouritism to people that you know to give them the job. And I can't help but think that that's what's happened with these machete bins. Who in their right mind, what, $315,000 for a steel bin? You can't tell me that whoever owns that company isn't friends with somebody in government that makes decisions. That's why it reeks of nepotism. They can pay $315,000 for a bin, but they can't pay me. I paid $120 for this. I'd happily settle for $100. I would happily settle, just give me $100. Even if you gave me $80, I wouldn't complain. But the fact that you're taking it off me for nothing, in my eye, that's stealing. So I'm going to miss it. It's a handy tool, and I wish I could keep using it, and I love it. And the fact that I can't use it anymore sucks. I can't carry whippersnippers and chainsaws and lawnmowers up trout streams, so I'm going to miss it like mad because I use it a lot. But I can understand it. But at the end of the day, as much as I absolutely hate the fact that I'm not getting reimbursed for it, it's not even about the $100. I'm very fortunate. This video is probably going to earn me $100 if I'm lucky and give me the money that the government isn't giving me. It's about the moral. Where is the morals of the government to just take these things off people with no remuneration? There should have been a buyback. Because this, in my eyes, in my opinion, this is thievery. This is stealing. I paid for this with an honest money that I earned, earning an honest living, and I should be, if you want it back off me, you should have to buy it off me. That's my thoughts. But I have had it's the end of the amnesty. The amnesty ends tomorrow. I've had 2 months to hand it in, and I've been thinking about it every day. I thought about keeping it. I thought about keeping it and not handing it in and just not telling everybody. I thought maybe I could stash it into a hollow tree stump in New South Wales where they're legal, because I spend a lot of time up at Urana and out around Wanganala and those areas. I could hide it in a hollow log or a tree stump up there. That way I'm not breaking any laws and I've still got a machete. Or I could lie to people and tell them I've hidden it up there in a tree stump and keep it in my shed. I thought about all those things, but I just can't do it. I've got a lot of integrity. I don't have to agree with the law, but I'm going to abide by it, and I'm going to be handing this in probably this afternoon when I get back to town. As much as I don't like it, I'm going to have to do it because I had to think about it, and you know what? I've got some pretty big problems in my life, things that you don't see on this channel. I don't sort of air my dirty laundry a lot, but I've got way bigger issues to deal with than this. So I'm going to hand this in this afternoon, and it sucks, and it's the end of an era, belting carp on the head with a machete, but it is what it is. Jacinta, you owe me $100. It's written on the black bit that you can't see well, and it's written on the silver bit. You owe me $100, and I'm not going to forget it. I've just stopped at the river on my way into town because something popped into my head that I want to share about my machete. I just want it to be known that I don't hold the police accountable for this at all. This isn't a police law. The police are the ones that are charged with enforcing this law, but they didn't make this law. This is a government decision. The government decided to do this. The government made the decision not to pay us for our machetes, but the police are the ones that have to take them off us and give us fines. So for all we know, they probably think it's a stupid law too, but they've got a job to do. I just want to make that known. I'm going to make one last cut before I hand it in. Rightio, machete, ready for your last cut? We'll do a double hander. Take it out. The bin sounds like it's empty. Jacinta, you owe me $100.